Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Biora Therapeutics. That was requested for the stream, so I'll be going over that. And also, I did just want to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the altcoins, just, out of my own curiosity. So, should be fun to explore those. Also, happy to take any ticker requests live. And so, I do this every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, make sure you subscribe, join every Sunday for ticker requests live. Fun to go over all of the tickers, getting ready for the week. So, yeah, make sure you like this as well. And if you have any requests, put them in the live chat. Or if you miss this, you're watching it after the fact, put those requests in the comments. And I should also note that following this stream, I will put timestamps. So if you miss it and you, just want to scan for all the tickers that I covered, you can skip right to them and get the information that is of interest. But yeah, so for this, I am just going to start going over Biora. As you can see, prices come down a lot apparently. This is on the daily time frame, and I apparently had it zoomed out a bunch. And so if we do zoom in on the chart, a bunch of Fibonacci retracements that I've done. I have covered this a number of times on the channel, but it doesn't really get that many views. I think, largely because it's just been bleeding down for a while. The only time it really gets views is when there's some volatility to the upside, or, to the downside. But since it has just been in kind of this slow downtrending channel, it broke below a little bit. It doesn't really get too much traction here on YouTube. So, if you do want to see more videos on Biora, make sure you share them, make sure you like them, help out the algorithm by throwing a comment on them. And the more views it gets, the more likely I am to cover it. But if I do miss it, if I'm not able to cover it as far as not getting enough views goes, happy to do it during the live stream. And also, might make a video of it. One of your requests, if you do, let me know about them. So yeah, just do that. And I'm just going to remove the volume profile. We don't really need that. And so just looking at the chart here, what I see is there's this downtrending channel. I'm going to zoom out again, sorry, that, we've been trading in for a while. I had initially drawn the channel with the solid white lines coming down, but then I recently noticed that there were some wicks that came outside of that channel. I thought, oh, well, I'll check those and see if there is, a broader parallel channel, and that does look like what we have. And and I started to do that because I had noticed that the price was outside of the channel, but still just bleeding down. And, I would have expected there to be a breakout. And so what we saw over the past 4 days, over the past trading day, the past trading week, because it was shortened because of President's Day, we did see not only a continuation of this breakout from that parallel channel, but we also saw, gap up and then a retracement, but not to the channel, actually to what looks like might be forming this bullish falling wedge. And I believe I drew that during a stream initially, probably adjusted it for, I think I did a video on it, or maybe let's see if I've locked them in place. Yeah, I've fine-tuned them to those peaks. There is one wick that did go above that downtrend. And then for the bottom of the wedge, there are a few wicks that go below it, but no closes below it. And so, I do see this as being a significant breakout, although it might not seem like much. We did get this, breakout on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday, the 21st, it did go negative about 5.5%, put in a bearish engulfing candle. So not looking too good there, but it retraced to, exactly basically the top of that wedge, 2 days with wicks coming down to there. And, on Friday, we did get a close higher than the prior two closes. So I do think that's good. Also, let's see, look at this on the weekly real quick. The close for last week was at a price of 84.88 cents. The week before, we had a high of 87.82 cents. So really, it would be good to get a close above that level for weekly. But really, now that we're potentially moving up, it would be good to get a close for this coming week higher than last week's high, which would be about 90 cents exactly. So if we can get a close this week above 90 cents, that would be really good. Yeah, and that really also, I think if I throw up the volume profile, getting to 90 cents, we see a little bit of a decrease in the volume here. There was a good amount of consolidation below it, also a good amount of consolidation above it. So I think it will be tough to get 90 cents, but if we can get it, that would be great. Hey, Nameless, what's up? How's my weekend been going? It's been going good. I had to work for a few hours yesterday, so that sucked. But then yeah, just been working on videos. I wanted to get Clean Spark video out today, but I'll do that tomorrow. And yeah, it's been nice. Weather was really nice today. Went for a little hike and yeah, did some grocery shopping. So kind of a chill weekend, but yeah, I worked a little bit, get paid time and a half for it, so that's nice. I hope your weekend was good as well. I saw your comment about SOXS, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to see where the markets go over the next week. I feel like the top is not in yet, but I do think that building that SOXS position, I'm going to be happy with that. Hey NASCAR, what's up? OCEA momentum late Friday could bring momentum to the start of the week. OCEA. I'll check that out. I'll add it here. Ocean Biomedical Incorporated. And then at some point I'll go over Bitcoin and stuff. Just I feel like that's somebody had asked in a stream if I do any long-term investments, and I really don't do too much of that. But then I realized, well, Bitcoin is that for me, so I thought I'd go over that chart a little bit. But yeah, let's see. OCEA. I'm going to remove this volume profile because it's just a lot of there. And so let's see. The RSI 88.94. Pretty big pullback. I might look at this on, let's see, the hour time frame. Yeah, so this looks like, this could be, a bull flag here with a move higher. I have partaken in a couple of these, it might be a bull flag forming in the pre-market or after hours. And, I just bought like one share, so they're only like $2 shares. So I might avoid this one just to wait and see what happens with the others. But yeah, so let's see. Late Friday could bring momentum to start of the week. Yeah, so let's see. I'm just going to switch this over to the daily again. So yeah, gap up and then up 180, almost 186% on the day. That's crazy. The high, so like from, let's see, the close here to the high, that's 280, almost 284%. That's crazy. Would have been good to know about this on Thursday. And yeah, Nameless, I'll get to natural gas after this. And so, yeah, with this, I feel like, could potentially, it's like get a very small position and maybe this continues higher. But I feel like it would have been like this after hours. I assume that was after hours. Yeah, after hours move. This was a 65% move within an hour. And then I guess a pullback, so it went even higher. Yeah, it's kind of like, here, let's look at this on the, I'll do 10-minute time frame. But that, like, yeah, it's got this, like, nice pump up there, and then, yeah, pump up to here, and then came back down, then pumped up again. So, like, this would have been like, oh, hey, there's something going on, buy down here, and then you get your, 280% gain. And so for this, I guess something that I need to get better at is, stop losses. I would say that this wick down here, that was, the first 10 minutes of after hours, I believe, unless it's what it closed at that price. Let's see. Let's see, the close for this candle was 168. So let's see what the close was for the day. Was this 168? Close was 549. Where did I get the 168 from? Oh yeah, so that would be like right here. I don't know what I was just doing. Man, I just confused myself. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Looking at this from up here. Yeah, 168. So that would be, okay, so that's the last trading day. What was the close for that? Yeah, 168, 157. 157, so that would be this one, I believe. Close, 157. Yeah, so the first 10 minutes of the after hours had a low of $1.44. So I feel like that's potentially like a stop loss level. If it dips below that, it might be going lower. But I mean, maybe it finds support here just below that 141. So yeah, I don't know. This is tough, but yeah, I mean, it could go up another couple 100%. And so yeah, so I don't know. If this is your style, this is potentially, an exciting trade. But I feel like it would have been really good to, I mean, even just seeing like the pop from Friday, seeing it, well, man, I'm not used to yeah, so like for the open, I guess, from Friday being, let's see, yeah, daily now. Okay. Yeah, so seeing the open here at like $1, and then seeing that after hours price action, it dipping down to here a low of 70.5 cents. So switching this over to the hour, yeah, I mean, it's 70.5 cents. I mean, you could have, like from, yeah, like, so here it opens here, goes up, or, I mean, no, it opens the market 9:30 at this price, and then comes down. And so down here, like 74 cents, that would have been a really good time to pick it up because you saw all this volatility in the after hours. And then it's like, well, it's probably going to continue higher during the market hours. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's too late to chase, or at least I've already established a couple of these squeeze ones that are like $2 a share. So not a big deal. But I don't want to just have a portfolio of like a bunch of stuff that was like potentially to squeeze 200%, but then didn't. So, but yeah, but it seems interesting. I guess what I'll do is I may not be aware of it, or, because if I get too many alerts, but I might put an alert at like 144, and then I'll put another one at 235. Just to see what happens. And then, then I can evaluate that and like maybe, oh yeah, this is a fun thing to do for the future. But yeah, I'll switch over to, before I switch over to a NASCAR stand, I think it really just brings momentum into other stocks, not necessarily OCEA. Similar to how Hollow Move brought action into a bunch of other Chinese stocks. Yeah, that was a really crazy week, seeing all the squeeze so much. Like the one that I did, I forget, HGI or something, I forget. I bought a one share, and I made like 30% on it, but it was like $2, so it's didn't make much money. But just for kind of a practice of the swing, and but yeah, it went from like $2 to like $9 or something. It was crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to go over, Nameless is saying, great video on natural gas. If you guys haven't seen the natural gas videos, I do those every Sunday. That has become kind of like an addiction for me, just because, it's like establish a position, it's really volatile, it goes up, but then end up holding some shares as it bleeds for a while. And then I've just gotten like really used to the volatility to the upside and the bleeds to the downside that just go on forever. And yeah, I guess last Sunday, I noticed a bunch of signals that were suggesting the bottom was in. Then on Monday and Tuesday, it popped, and yeah, I was stoked about that. I can actually here, I'll go over UNG here because this is the one that I trade, and then I can also pull up in my web browser natural gas. So yeah, just made a video on it. I like to do it Sunday before like the futures or pre-market trading for tomorrow starts, and so this is Fibonacci retracement that I did basically on the 15th. The low of the day was $1.61.4, and so I had done this Fibonacci retracement down to that level. Price ended up going just at 1 cent lower to the low here on Monday, February 19th. But then from that, it ended up going up, and so I was basically suggesting there are all of these signals suggesting the bottom's in. It did rally. I expected it to go, much higher, like to these levels up here. But, I didn't see that to these levels here. But it has, let me see. I don't know where my, crap. Where's my magnifying glass tool? Oh, yeah, that's magnifying glass. I want to zoom out. Zoom in here. So from this, it looks like, from this, we got this retracement here. And so I made the video thinking that, price might be coming down to the 786 level you see labeled here. It's about $1.66. But it does look like, this was kind of a fake out break below. And we've gotten above the 618 now, currently above the 382. So, this 618 was a pretty good buying opportunity, apparently, depending on how we see, Monday actually plays out. But, this could, once something moves up a lot, like over the week, I'm not used to switching on trading view, but yeah, so last week went up 5.5. Well, that's for Monday, sorry. Last week, is that for, no, this is, I don't know what I'm looking at. Why? I want the week. Change interval to the week. I don't know. Settings, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not that familiar with, oh, maybe this is just adding it to favorites. So I got this up here. Got this up there. Okay, cool. Then maybe I switch to, there we go. The week. Yeah, I don't really understand this, so I'll have to explore this more on my free time. Oh, yeah, because this, you can't see it. There's a big wick up to this level. If I were to delete this Fibonacci retracement, actually, maybe I'll just make it invisible. I don't know. But yeah, there's a big wick that goes up to here, and then it closed down here. And so that's what we got last week, which was, like, I guess just up 1.7%. And here we're up 5.5 really. So yeah, hopefully it continues higher. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm like, what I've learned is, if you don't see a number of bottoming signals, wait. And so that's what I'm going to try to do with this. I'm going to switch this back to the, I can just do this over here. Yeah, sorry, I keep screwing up this axis. So I am going to maybe just zoom out. Yep, so we have that there. And then I can look at this a little bit in like looking at UNG. And so that doesn't have the pre-market trading yet, or the futures trading, like what we see with, I've already added UNG. Like what we see with natural gas, the commodity here, we have, I guess, yeah, a little bit here. But, well, this is the after hours trading from Friday. So we haven't gotten into Monday, pre-market trading yet. It starts around 3, I believe. Or I guess 3 where I'm located, so probably 4 a.m. Eastern. But if we look at this on the daily, I just did the same kind of Fibonacci retracement. And so I suspect that just like Natural gas over here, just going to zoom in on this part, will be, here at the 382. So I suspect Monday we'll be seeing price right around $15.88, $16. And then this might be rallying higher to these fib levels up here. Let's see, I just got to auto adjust that. So yeah, I'm hoping that this goes up to at least $20, this blue line here, which was a gap down over here, consolidation below, and consolidation below here as well. So it might be a little tough to get to. Also with this yellow line marking the bottom over here at $18. So, plenty of upside. But yeah, it's been a tough bleed, as it usually is with natural gas. Now, let's see. I'll check out next comments here. Race. All news is saying race. RACE. Oh, yeah, Ferrari. Okay, cool. And before I get into this, I'm just going to have a little drink. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you guys are excited for the week. I'm excited for the AMC earnings call. Also, Plug Power earnings call on Friday. And I might do some options paper trading during one of the days, just kind of practicing that a little bit. Yeah, see NASCAR saying the ticker that went to $9 was MGIH, which we were just talking about. Chinese stocks going up really high. And Marcus, I see your Fisker request, so I'll add that here. I'll go over that as well. I did just do a video on it yesterday, so I probably won't have too much to add to it. But let's see. Ferrari, let's see. Flat in the after hours, up 1% on the day. Does look like, this to me makes me think it's like, is that an evening star? I believe, or is that, yeah, morning star is down here. That's bullish. This would be like an evening star. So this could suggest the top is in. RSI is 73.63. Let's see, anything to suggest. Yeah, so here, let's see, over here. So yeah, I mean I think this is actually a pretty cool example. So here, not only do you have like a double top with kind of like a fake out pump to the upside here, I'll zoom in a little bit. So you have, higher high formed here, but then if you look at the RSI, here's the high here, RSI is 82, and then over here, you've got a higher high in the price, but the RSI is 71.35. So because you have price going up, making higher highs, RSI going down, making lower highs, that's bearish divergence. And then after that, you see this dump. And so I think that's a pretty nice example. And there are a lot of times where you do see, a top and then you see a little bit of a pullback and then a higher top. But if you're not paying attention to the RSI, that's pretty key to show that this was actually, just one final pump before a dump. And yeah, and so I'm not sure exactly, but I think that we're kind of seeing the similar thing right now. So we do see this higher high here, or this, higher from the previous ones, and then this higher high up here. The RSI is 74.87 here, and then 73.63 here. So just a little bit lower, so not too much. And also if price continues to go higher, you could then be putting in a higher high for the RSI, and then there would be no bearish divergence. But right now this does kind of suggest that. But even if we go, back here, well, actually maybe not from back here, this is a bad example because this is the RSI is lower, but from over here, we can draw a trend line from this peak to this peak, clearly higher highs. And then if we do that with the RSI, this is, lower highs. So I feel like this is getting pretty risky. But you could also notice too that when we did have the RSI being above 70, so hitting like a high here of 83.68, it was up there for a while. Let's see, for about November 2nd to like pretty much all of November, it was really high. Um, yeah, and let's see. Or there's signals that, yeah, I mean, for me, I would think that, I mean, if I was holding Ferrari, I would want to sell or at least trim the majority of my position. Because, yeah, I mean, just with that signal there, that does look like yeah, it's like a spinning top, I don't think that's a shooting star. I think it's an evening star. I can actually look this up. Power of the internet. Let's see. Uh, oh, evening star. Evening star candlestick. So gap up. Yep. You guys were able to see that. Yeah, cool. Oops, sorry, I bumped the mic. Yeah, so this to me seems like this is topping signal. I would expect this to come down. I think that it'd find support right around here, around 390, 392. And that's, based on the volume profile here, you got this consolidation here. And that's actually, looks like this was a bull flag. So you've got this big move up, consolidation over here, then break to the upside. But this is just not looking super strong where it's at. Maybe if we look on the weekly time frame, I'm just going to remove the drawings. Yeah, I mean, this is still closing up there, so it could continue going higher. But yeah, and also the RSI hasn't like peaked or anything. So the RSI currently at 72.15. Over here, it's 72.56. This is just a little bit lower. And so if price pulls back over the course of next week, I would think that's definitely a sign to get out. But it might be, wait and see how it goes over the next week. But I think that this is coming down. But yeah, interesting chart. I've not really looked at Ferrari before. But yeah, and also too, I mean, this just is looking pretty parabolic at this time. So like this is the low of October 22. And so this has gone up. Well, I guess I could do the low from June 22. So low right around there. That represents 150% increase. Yeah, so I think that this is getting a little overbought. Yeah, wow. 30. Would have been nice to have shares at $30.39. I guess that's before IPO or whatever. But you have shares at $50, $52, $53. That'd be nice. But yeah. But yeah, I'll look over Fisker, and then I also see Nameless. I see your comment on FSLY. And that'll be an interesting one to follow up on because I think we looked at it a couple weeks ago. Yeah, let's look at Fisker real quick. Yeah, so with this, I mean, yeah, I mean, and somebody was commenting, I think Sean was commenting, hey Sean, if you're watching, about, or maybe it wasn't Sean, maybe it was somebody, or no, sorry, it was Fiskerati, I think. Somebody who's very excited about Fisker. And yeah, so what I was saying in the comment is that I believe that was with, that was with this. So in past videos, I mentioned that, it's consolidating over here. Should have recognized that it's, bearish consolidation. It's a bear flag because, you have this pretty big move down, just all of these red candles in a row. And then you get sideways consolidation. That's a bear flag. So I should have recognized that. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing that puzzles me is we were seeing lower lows in the price, but higher lows in the RSI. So I think that's bullish divergence, but maybe it's just, also having to recognize where it's trending relative to the bigger picture, like this, being a flag pulled down. You got a bear flag there to break to the downside. But anyways, I'm just going to put the drawings back up. And yeah, so I had been saying that, while it's consolidating here, if it dips to 75 cents, 74 cents, that seems like a good deal. But then it started to go to like 73 cents. And rather than jumping into a position with it, I waited to kind of evaluate it. And I think because So this retracement, this yellow one here, extension from this retracement here, that's at 59.11 cents. And so I was thinking, well, you know, it clearly broke 73 cents. So I'm going to wait and see what happens. I'll evaluate it. And then it's like, oh, well, I have this level marked at like basically 59 cents. I'll just place an order there. So I picked up some more shares there. And then it's just like, okay, and then I'm going to wait and see what happens. And what we saw here is, you know, got this wick down to 52 cents on Friday. But what stands out to me is, you know, we had this close. The close on the 22nd, so Thursday, was 53.76 cents with a high right around here of 58.48 cents. And on Friday, we closed above that. So I feel like this is just giving a sign of like bottoming signals that, you know, oh, but we hit a new low on Friday. Yeah, but it was a green day and we closed above the previous day's high. Ideally, and also we did close just below this extension at 59.11, so maybe that's not so good. But I think that, you know, it'll be really key to kind of see what happens over the next couple days. I do feel like 52 cents could be the low. Possible, though, we will wick below it. Hopefully don't close below it. And yeah, so I mean, I'm just thinking that really, you know, if it goes to 52 cents and like I place an order there and it gets filled, it's probably going lower than 52 cents. So that to me is kind of like chasing a falling knife. It's already fallen a bunch. If it hits 52 again, it's probably not good. But if we get a wick down and a close, you know, right around where it opened, right around, I believe Thursday's close was 54, just below 54 cents. But I feel like a good level to pick it up in case it just wicks down is 54 cents. If it hits 52, it's probably going lower, and then that would be just kind of like another stand back and evaluate type of situation. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this is pretty risky, but it could be at a bottom. And yeah, with this, I guess I did point out, you know, I'm just going over bullish divergence and stuff. Lower lows in the stock price here, and then with the RSI, we have higher lows, and we do have an uptick in the RSI. So that does suggest that, you know, this is clearly bullish divergence. However, it is quite possible that the bullish move was seen on Friday. But I do think that it will continue, especially with earnings coming up. It's quite possible that there's a run up before earnings, maybe to like 75 cents. And then possibly after that, there could be a dump after earnings. So I think just be very careful around earnings. If it moves a lot before earnings, whether to the upside or the downside, that can be a signal of what might happen after earnings. Like Nvidia was dumping before earnings and then rocketed up following earnings. So if it's doing one thing before earnings, if it's not flat, if it's flat, that means, you know, people don't really know if it's going up or down. But if it's moving up, that might be like a you know, sell the news type of scenario. When earnings come out, dump it. So I think it's good to be careful with this, but, you know, it's quite possible 52 is a low. So, you know, I might add a little bit more at 54 cents, but I also might not. I still need to evaluate that more. But then, yeah, I'll go on to Fastly. And so, yeah, okay, so yeah, I did this retracement and wow, came down to fill this gap. That's pretty crazy. I was thinking that, I guess I was thinking that I'm expecting this to find support around the 786 here at like 1626. But probably, I imagine, I'd have to look back on the streams, which I don't really do. I imagine I was suggesting there's this gap down here and this uptrend, which looks like a parallel channel here. Just going to remove the volume profile for us. Yeah, that's a little bit of maybe a stretch for the channel. And also, yeah, I mean, with this, let's see, these are not locked into place. I wish I had it switched around, so I just had one point on the bottom. But yeah, well, let's see, what could I do to adjust this? You know, so I've got, oh wait, right here. So we got this to like the low here, and then maybe that to that little pivot there. See, I mean, this could still be, you see where I connected that. So like right around the high here from December 2nd, 2022, and then right around the low of May 5th, 2023. And then the other pivot point is up here. And so, yeah, I mean, does it look like maybe this is a better fit? I don't know. It's got, you know, some breaks of it, but maybe there's something there. So, you know, maybe price is still within that, but at this point, I feel like it might be doing a full retracement down to 1364. I don't see any signals that are suggesting, yeah, because it put in a lower close. It closed the week with the lowest close for the week, past 4 trading days. And so, yeah, I mean, I could see like maybe there's a wick down or something to 1364, or, you know, just below this trend line. So, I mean, this looks like it could be, but I mean, I just adjusted that trend line, so I don't know how credible that is. After sharp decline, what to make of Fastly stock at these levels? Looking into Fastly's recent short interest. Maybe I'll click that, see what that's about. So Fastly's short percent of float has risen 6.89% since its last report. The company recently reported it had 7.91 million shares sold short, which is 6.52% of all regular shares that are available for trading. Based on its trading volume, it would take traders 2.59 days to cover their short positions on average. And so, yeah. Let's see. You know, it does look like it's kind of breaking below where there's been a lot of consolidation. But yeah, I think it does look like it picks up, you know, around 1364. So maybe it'll dip down to there. Maybe it's just a wick, and it might respect you know, the levels that it's at. And also too, like yeah, if it's filled this gap, there are people who probably bought here, and so maybe they'd want to buy more. Now it's like below their average, and so maybe this could be going up. And so here we do see, let's see, this is a higher low, and it's higher low with the RSI as well, or is it? Yeah, it's pretty much flat. Any bigger picture stuff? Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, maybe there's a double bottom at 1364, but yeah, I mean, like, it's just red. I mean, I guess what's encouraging is that the last, like 2 weeks ago, red candle down almost 35%. This past week, down 10%. So I guess I'd look to see, you know, where this is over the, because it does look like it's calmed down a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it just put in a lower close though. That's like my concern. So I'd wait to see a close above one of these highs. So like Friday's high was 1479, Thursday's was 1490, Wednesdays was 1503. So like I'd look for a close right around $15. And if it closes above that, that might be a signal that this is getting ready to go up. And yeah, we'll definitely look up Azul. But yeah, for as far as Fastly goes, I'd wait to see if there's a green candle that closes right around $15, and then that would, I think, suggest that. I mean, because it does look like it's flattened out about a good amount, but I'd want to see a close above one of those levels. And then Azul. So here, yeah, it looks like, I mean, this line was just drawn approximately, and so So I guess like 694 is the low there. So I'd think that is probably, I don't know. I don't know if it's like a stop loss level, but an important one. If there's a close below 694, I'd think that's bad. But I mean, this could be, with earnings coming up the end of March, so a month from now. I'm looking at this on the daily. It seems very close to where we're currently at in the price. But yeah. Yeah, so I'd keep an eye on 694. Haven't gotten any dips to that level. And yeah, I mean, maybe this is kind of ugly, but I could see this as, like a little head and shoulders here. And so, yeah, that doesn't look too good because there's a bounce off of that level and then it broke. And so if there's like a measurement to be made with that, this is probably too extreme. That would put price at dun 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 negative 1 penny. But yeah, I mean that potentially doesn't look that good, but I don't really think it's a head and shoulders pattern or that the measurement is valid. But if it does break below 694, this low over here I think will be 1580 will be one to pay attention to. So right there. Yeah. This is on the daily time frame. Yeah, so feel like there are a few levels. One, just don't want to be seeing a close below 694. And then if it does, then I feel like this. I don't really think that this is that a channel that I drew, or I'm thinking about something else. Oh, okay, this is based on these pivot points here. You can see there. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's something. Oh, and I guess, I usually just jump to a Fibonacci retracement, and I didn't do that for this. So, can do that from, let's see, 694 here. Oh, I got to add some levels to it. What's the high on this day? 1126. So there we go. That should be 694 at the bottom. And I'll add all of them. Okay, so the 1618 from that is at $4.27. I think that might be a little extreme. Yeah, I feel like and actually over here too, you've got all of this consolidation before the big run up. So like, what price is that about? Maybe like 625 or so. Let's see. It was the low on that day, 622. I'll make that some color. It's a little easier to see. Yeah, so I feel like 694, 625. Because, yeah, well, I guess really like, because that's at the base of this consolidation, you'd probably want to you'd probably be finding support closer to like $7. And then if it goes to 625, it's probably falling more. This like volume profile. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's probably 694 is a good one to be keeping an eye on because I think it does look like it might be settling out around there. But yeah, I mean, again, on Friday, down 2.77% at the bottom of the candle close, and the close is higher than the is the low. Yeah, so yeah, so I don't know. Seems a little sketchy. Yeah, Nikola, or Nikola, I've been pronouncing it wrong. Um, yeah, so I can look over Nikola. I did, and I should say hi hydrogen homie. I did just put out a video on Nikola, so hopefully, I mean, I probably won't have much to add to that. But I guess, it's like when I do a video, I just try to, um, hit certain points and try to do it in an efficient way, kind of a smooth way, so you don't get to see me fumbling as much. So I think that's kind of a nice thing about going over this stuff in the streams in addition to those videos. Um, yeah, and so, and I don't think I mentioned this in the video. Um, like there's this move up here. Actually, I'm gonna remove the drawings. There's this move up here and then sideways consolidation. So that makes me wonder if this is a bull flag. And I should note I'm not good at identifying those. I need to get better at, especially with bear flags, because I've had a number of those break on me recently. I wasn't appreciating them. But here, yeah, I mean, there's this consolidation here, and I guess like this low or close, which was hit on February 5th, is a close of 67.85. We haven't had any closes lower than that, so I think that's a pretty key level to be paying attention to. We've had multiple wicks below that level, but no closes below it. We did put in this bullish engulfing candle. We also, here just put in a bearish engulfing candle, and price didn't really go much lower other than, just on Friday. It does look like, I do think that with this, maybe this is like a double top. And so I think that 80 cents, I mentioned that in the video, 80 cents is going to be a really key one to break above, because this could be a double top, or, maybe this is a cup and handle. And this is kind of like an ugly handle here. Maybe if I look at this on the hourly time frame, yeah, it's kind of an ugly handle because it's like the handle's at the base of the cup. But yeah, I mean, I think that Nikola is looking pretty good, closing the week strong like this. But it could be a fake out. It did not close higher than Monday's open. And so, we look at that on the weekly, it's a red doji or spinning top, but it did close above the previous week's close. So I think that's a good sign. We really just need to be getting above 80 cents. And then with this new high that was put in during the week, 84.5 cents. And then here, there's going to be some resistance around 87 cents, because we've got this consolidation here, and then this wick below, so there's a lot of overlap there, going from like 87 cents up to like 97 cents. And then there's a bunch of consolidation there to break through to get to, a dollar. So, yeah, and this is on the weekly, so I'll put this on the daily. Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's looking good, but it's quite possible there could be a fake out or something. But I mean, it has closed above, from the retracement on the way downside above the 50%. So that's good. So that's basically saying, since this is the trading that happened over the course of the week, that's saying that, it closed in the upper half of the trading for that week above the 50% level. And so I would think that's leaning more bullish. Even though, if we look at the week, it does look like, it's red, so this to me, just looking at that, that's like, well, that probably doesn't look that good. It went up a little bit and then it's red and it could be coming down. So, I mean, maybe that's the case. But, when we look over at it on the daily, while it's red, it closed in the upper half of the trading for that day. It's like another way to, if I do this drawing, then it, populates all of the drawings. But yeah, just from this 50% retracement, I guess maybe it actually looks better like this. Yeah, the 50% level is here. and the candle is above that. So I mean, I think that's good. And so yeah, I mean, if I was like not, as familiar with looking at charts or like diving into them so much, I'd probably look at this and be like, it doesn't look good. It's red. It's bad. But it actually, was a pretty good week. Like all of these, the only candle that it hasn't gone over, going back to the middle of January, is this one that had the high, I think, on January 31st. So yeah. And let's see. And then I see, hey Michael, what's up? What do I think about Luminar stock this week? Do they have earnings? I think they have earnings. I think they're a stock that I'd like to cover their earnings, but I'm either working or I'm probably working. Let's see. So yeah, I'll switch over to Luminar. Oh. And so let's see where that is. I might look at this without the drawings first. Yeah, so I mean this could be putting in a double bottom. It's a weekly time scale. It did put in a lower close than the close over here, so maybe that's not so good. It also, what was the low on this week ending January 26th? The low was 221. Put in a close lower than that. See, I don't think it's looking terribly good, but this could be a double bottom, like just how we saw this go up, and it's like, oh, this week down 23.5% almost. Another red week down almost 12% after that. And yeah, from that, that was a good time to buy, get a 23% move up. And so with this, I guess like the difference though is look at the wick, look at the tail of this candle coming down there versus the little one that we see over here. So like not too many buyers are stepping in. And what I could imagine and what really kind of would make sense is, if I see something like this happen and it's like, what's the low here? The low is $2.30, and then it goes up and it's like, okay, I'm not going to buy anymore unless it comes back to 230. That was the low. I want to get my shares at the low. And then it goes up, comes down. You're just waiting for it at 230. And then people start accumulating. It goes down to 209. People are accumulating. People are buying here below 221. And so that kind of sets the floor at 221. This goes up. And then now, the same thing happens. People are probably like, oh, well, I missed the low of $2.09. I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to stack my orders at $2.09. So maybe what we see is this dips to below 209. A bunch of orders get filled or people say, hey, well, I missed out on 209 before. Now I'm going to place some orders. And then it goes back up. So I think that's interesting. Earnings are coming up on the 27th, which is Tuesday, probably after hours. Yeah, and here, let's see, there's no divergence because, I mean, if this drops below, yeah, like over here, this is a good example, probably a good example. Yeah, so here, put up my drawings. Yeah, I was already thinking about this, I guess. No, actually, here, you do see lower lows in the price, higher lows in the RSI, higher lows. Sorry if I said higher highs. Higher lows, and then an uptick, so that's a low, and then price starts to go up. And then this downtrend continues, but what we see, a lower RSI. So here it's 31.52. Over here it's 35.10. So yeah, lower, so there's no bullish divergence there. And then here we don't have any bullish divergence formed. This is, higher lows here, higher lows here. With earnings coming up, I think, earnings are always really tricky to trade. Nameless, I will add Matterport here and we can look over that. Yeah, I think, and come to think of it, I think I had an order at $2 as well. It did go to 201. I will get back to that and I'll think about it looking at the chart. But yeah, I also had an order at $2 and it didn't get filled. I was kind of annoyed by that. Yeah, let's see. Maybe, do I have any drawings to go back here? Okay, so, what's this trend line based on? This white trend line I have here. Maybe it's nothing. So the lows over here, and then, got a fake out here, fake out breakdown, and then got another one here before a run, and then, got another one here before a run. And so, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it does break below that level, but it could potentially be acting as support before earnings. So I guess what might be good is to see, yeah, so like the close at 219 and the low 215.5, I think, yeah. So I'd wait to see, does it continue to break lower? Let's look at this on the weekly. I think I was just doing this. Yeah, but if it does go lower, that could be marking the bottom. But, yeah, so here you have, like, I feel like you can think of this big red candle as kind of like a combination of these two. And that you're not hitting new lows. This did break below this, though. On the weekly, I don't know, did I not mention this? Because here, well, maybe that negates it, but this is, you have lower lows here, higher lows here, and this is still higher low, higher low. So I think that price needs to go below 209 with the RSI holding above 31.09. And if that happens, then I would think it's bullish. At this point for earnings, I would think like for me personally, I have shares of Luminar. And so, for me, I dollar cost average in very, very slowly, or add to my positions very slowly once I've established them. And so for me, it's like, well, maybe I could add a little bit more if it dips down, but not go crazy or anything, because maybe it does really dip down. Maybe it goes below 209. Maybe it comes down to $1.50 here. Actually, yeah, that's actually something to consider from this retracement, $1.50 there. I can maybe do another retracement from this run up. I'm gonna actually adjust this. See the low there, yeah, so 230 to 369. So let's see where this extension goes. 369. Dang it. I have a problem wanting to get stuff just right. But yeah, so that's, yeah, that's even lower. So, I feel like for me, I'd add very casually where it's at now, just to, take advantage of shares being cheap, but I'd be prepared for if it does, drop following earnings. Earnings are always, risky. We can see what happened. I feel like the prior earnings are never really that great of indicators. This looks like on the 8th, dropped down, then bled. And then the previous one, it's gone down following them, whether it rallied at all or not. Here, this one, Q1, so that would have been the next earnings call. This also, came down, but then went up. And so last Q4 earnings reported at the end of February, what did the price do? It was already up. It rallied before earnings. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is a nice example of, it pulling back, rallying up before earnings, and then earnings goes a little bit higher, but then sells off. This earnings, this is kind of weird. There are two of them. But yeah, this seems like, I don't know, earnings are tough. I think it's like tough to trade. It can make you anxious if you're just holding. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there are potentially going to be some nice dip buying opportunities, but it might be, those dip buying opportunities might be at $1.50. And really, I think with this hitting $2.09, the 52-week low is $2.09. I feel like $2 is a magnet, just like 2 trillion market cap for Nvidia was a magnet. I think that $2, that's what I would, and I mean, there has to be a ton of buy orders at $2. Just people placing it. If it goes to $2, I'll pick up some more. But yeah, then I'll switch over to Matterport, and then Michael saying, thank you for the analysis. I just have a good feeling about this week. And that is referring to Luminar. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I don't pay super close attention to them. I do like follow their YouTube channel, so I do see like updates from Austin, the CEO and stuff, when they do like CES, Consumer Electronics Symposium. I don't know what that stands for. Yeah, I mean, it's just like really compelling and stuff, but I feel like every time there are earnings, it doesn't really respond that much or it goes down. And so I feel like they're past due for going up. They have been working on, I think with Mercedes, with Volvo, yeah, I mean, they just seem like, and also, mentioning Volvo, they've also done some work, I believe, with Polestar. And so it just seems like they're the kind of company that will be like every car company, every car manufacturer will be their customer. And so I think that they're, going to be in every vehicle, it seems like, just slowly over time. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for them and long term. Just the idea of, it's like autonomous safety systems or whatever the acronym is for it or whatever. Let's see, ATS, like Advanced Technologies and Services, OEM, Original Equipment. I thought there was some acronym for stuff, the vehicle safety and autonomy. But yeah, like people think about autonomous driving. Why do I need a self-driving car? And it's like, well, I mean, if it's like a seatbelt, it just makes it safer. You want to have that in every car. Yeah, I mean, think about who patented this seatbelt. That person made a lot of money, and so Luminar is like the tech version of a seatbelt. You want to have a crashless car seatbelt. You're still going to crash, but it'll protect you. Luminar can give you a crashless car. So I think that they've got a really nice future. It's been tough though, seeing it, over the past few years. Let's see, this is going back. Man, this is crazy. Yeah, the all-time highs, 47.80. So if you bought at the top, oh, I don't want a retracement. This is just torture. I hate it when people do this because it's like if you bought Amazon at, whatever price many years ago, and it's like, well, yeah, what if? 96% drop. Oh, maybe that's being a little much. Yeah, 95%. Damn. There's potential for it to go up though. But yeah, I will switch over to Matterport. God, I've done too many of these. And so I feel like that's kind of crazy. Sometimes I like draw on charts. I did this for myself because I hold some Matterport. That's why. Sometimes I'm like, why? When did I draw this? I didn't stream since Friday. Yeah, so this retracement there. And then I might, let's see. This level doesn't really matter anymore. So I might delete that. 786. And yeah, really, I'm just going to delete those. So for this, And I'll make this one yellow so we can distinguish it a little better. Yeah, so I think it's really cool when the levels line up pretty nice. I guess, downside risk with this, potentially the 1618 at $1.89. Could be going down to there. But I feel like, yeah, with this, it would have been nice if it was greener on Friday, up about 3%. Did get this big wick down. And so, like, the lowest close here is 206.5. And yeah, dang it, $2.01. I mean, I feel like, I don't know if it was you that was asking about this with ChargePoint a while ago, or if it was somebody else, but ChargePoint, I think, hit like 203. And then it's like, well, I mean, then there's kind of like this psychological game of, I want to pick up shares at 203 or at $2, but maybe 203 is the lowest. And so it's like maybe you could pick up half of what you wanted to grab at current price and then the other half at $2. But what happened with ChargePoint, if I remember correctly, it was a couple days, but then it broke below $2. So yeah, I mean, this might do the same thing. Although, I mean, it does have a pretty big wick here. And this did close, close to the top here. The close was 213. The high is 214. So it's basically the same. Although, both of them are below the 236. So it's quite possible that's, yeah, and also too, look at the volume profile. Volume doesn't really pick up until, basically current price, because this is, these lows here. But yeah, and then consolidation over here. So I think it really needs to reclaim the, let's see, get these other part. It really needs to reclaim the 382 white line here at like 221. You can close about like 222. That also coincides pretty similar to the 786 here. And also, we got this big wick up. It got rejected from that level. So I think, ideally it'd be good to get back up to here to 234, getting above this high that was on, I guess that was on Wednesday, the 21st. The high was 233. So, want to be getting above that. And so, yeah, I mean, this is just showing it's not too strong. Let's see, and it's going down, volumes up. It's going down more, volumes down, so that's good. But then we see a green day, but volumes down, same as it was the day before. So this is 3.8 million. This one's 3.8 million. So yeah, that to me, like, I would want to see, I guess, more volume behind that. So yeah, I mean, maybe, yeah, leave, like, I have a very small position in Matterport. But I think I had an order at $2 and 190. I think I deleted the one at 190. Oh, the reason why I had the one at 190 is because of this extension. I was wondering, like, why do I have it down at 190? But yeah, I mean, if it breaks I'd keep an eye on, let's see, maybe I can look at this on a higher resolution, 1 hour. Yeah, because I'm not good at this when it's like short like this, but this is, really like downtrending consolidation. If I draw a little channel there I mean, I can do it from here to here. This is in the upper half of that, so maybe a test of like 208. Maybe it, yeah, so it's like, came down here, and this channel fits to the data, so it's not like, I didn't draw it, I just let it fit the data. But so, it kind of comes down here, gets some consolidation that's uptrending here above, like in the upper half of that channel, and then it breaks down, consolidates along the bottom, starts moving up, makes an attempt to get out of it, but gets rejected, and then breaks down into the bottom half of the channel, tests the bottom here also at this level, 201, which is based on those lows, and then it goes back up. And it looks like it's being rejected, or maybe, I don't know if it's being rejected. It's above these levels here. But that's, I feel like you can't put too much weight on the after hours trading price action. But yeah, maybe this comes down to like 207, and if that can hold, maybe 208. This line would be to right here, 205. And if that can hold, then I think it could be potentially breaking out of his channel, because it's had, tests over here, test here, almost a test here, almost a test here, where it's just had, a couple tests at the bottom of it. So yeah, for me, I'm not saying, oh, I need to pick up more shares at 201 or 213 or anything. I just, if it hits $2, I'll pick up shares. If it goes lower, I'll pick up more as well. But yeah. And then Nameless is asking, am I shorting the S&P 500? So I have, I was adding to them on Friday. They I had some orders fill. I do, weekly edition. I was thinking, well, maybe I should not be adding to those, and I should just focus on adding to SOXS. But then I don't know how many shares of SH that I have. I added another share on Friday. Oh, I don't have any drawings on this. That's crazy. And then I just started adding to it, but I have 2 shares of SPX. I think I have like 5 or 6 shares of SQQQ. And so, I have those, but I'm really just interested in SOXS, because I think that, with what's going on with Nvidia, I feel like it's not just going to keep going up forever, and that it hit $2 trillion market cap. I think that could be, and also too, like, here, let's see, I'll pull up Nvidia here and see what news is on it, because I'm pretty sure there were a bunch of like analysts saying, price targets of like 850, all of this stuff, and I feel like when, analysts are saying, oh, it's just going to keep going up, it's like, it's because those analysts were not saying it's going to go to 800 down here. And then now that it's up there, it's like, oh, well, maybe I should update it. I don't want to be left behind anymore. Yeah, still buy analysis. 52 analysts. So let's see, 58 plus 50, 60, 70, 80. So it's like 93% of analysts are saying either buy or strong buy. Everybody's saying at least hold. But this is just too high. But market cap now 197. 1.97 trillion. So yeah, I think that this is going to come down. And I think that, but as far as shorting the market goes and stuff, I'm just really compelled by the SOXS thing. So that's my biggest short position as far as the market goes. And I think, I imagine that Nvidia is going to go higher. I imagine that the S&P 500 is going to go higher. And I just, so that's why I'm not being like terribly aggressive in buying. Um, but yeah, I mean, I drew this during the live stream that it looks like we got, fake out, here testing the bottom of that, but closing on the line. And then opening below it before earnings report for Nvidia, and then gap up. And now it's, at the top of this wedge, which Gareth Soloway drew something similar to this. I don't know if this is the exact same, but it's really just like, getting tighter and tighter. And, I was thinking maybe this is it, 'cause that it acted as support. But yeah, I mean, it's like hard to zoom in on the chart because it just goes from, top to, it just keeps going up. And yeah, the way that it closed on Friday, this is not a topping tail because it's not, the tail's not like 50% of it. I don't know what the exact specification of a topping tail is, but you do have a wick up to 51.1106, closing below 51, which is also closing below the previous day's high, which was 50.94.39. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised like if this continues to go higher, especially, I mean, because it's like an election year, so like, even if it ends up turning around at some, yeah, I feel like maybe there's some psychology in this. It's like, you want to get the price up so high that by the time there's the election, it's still at or near, all-time highs. But even if it's turning around, it's still above 5,000. You're like, oh, the economy's good, I don't know. I don't know how much of that stuff factors into it, but yeah, I could see this going higher. And with that, yeah, I mean, like, so I feel like with SOXS, I have this extension down here to $3.70, 67.8 cents. Maybe it'll go down to there. And if we look at, so this is the run up here from the end of January to, just the end of January. So if I look at Nvidia, let's see, where do I put that in requests? If I look at Nvidia, that was, well, let's see. I need to just put the SOXS over here. Yes, this is going up from the end of January, at the end of January. And so Nvidia at the end of January would have been going down. The end of January it was only going up. So that was this time frame when it was flat here. I guess that's the leverage talking. So yeah, I don't know. And I might go over Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff. And then I might wrap this up unless there's some last minute requests, but I've been doing this for more than an hour. So, but yeah, I mean, I've been curious about Bitcoin. So it was asked, long-term investing. I don't really do that too much, but one thing that I feel like I've appreciated because I was waiting for, the bottom, here, I didn't step in, and then now it's up at these prices. This is just below 16,000. I didn't establish a big position or anything there. And so now it's just like, well, maybe it's going to keep going higher up to these highs and go to 100K. Maybe it doesn't. And so if it doesn't, if it comes back to this box, then I can buy heavily or, as heavy as I feel comfortable with. But right now what I'm doing is I just do weekly $10 buys. It gets filled Monday mornings. And yeah, I just stack that. And if this goes up, nonstop. That's just basically a savings account for me that I'm not going to touch. But if this does come down, it's just $10 a week. It's not a crazy amount of money. And then so I could buy more heavily if it gets below here, 36,000 to 25,000. Is it going to come back to 25,000? I feel like probably not. Is it going to come back to 36,000? I don't know, but if it does, I'm going to be ready for it. But yeah, so this is like my really only like long-term investing kind of strategy. And looking at the chart now, this looks like it could be a bull flag, but it has been kind of weak, especially with like the markets rallying and stuff. But that could make, you could be making the argument that if the market is like a risk asset and gold is not skyrocketing and Bitcoin's not skyrocketing, then maybe Bitcoin's behaving more like gold. But if the market's topping next week, maybe some of that money shifts back into gold, shifts back into Bitcoin, and this goes higher. And so, I feel like, so I had just gotten some Bitcoin from the Celsius exchange that collapsed. I had some money in that, so I got some Bitcoin back. Not very much, but some. And so I've been trimming it. And so I trimmed some at 52 maybe a week ago. And I'm just waiting to see, is it going to break down or is it going to go higher? And so I feel like it's going to go to 55. And so I'll trim a little more, if it goes higher. But yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. And then on top of Bitcoin, I don't really like Ethereum because of the gas fees. But I got also some Ethereum from the Celsius thing. And so I trimmed some at 3,000. And I'm thinking, I'll trim again at 3,200. And so the high here is 31.35. So I'm just waiting for that. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it does. But yeah, I had like Bitcoin I want to hold on to. So I have like the position that I just add $10 to every week. But then the stuff I just got back, it's like, it's like through PayPal and stuff. So it's not like, I don't know, maybe I could send it to my wallet, my cold storage. But yeah, I wasn't expecting to get that money back. So I'd just rather have I guess maybe that's the argument for maybe I shouldn't sell it. But yeah, that's it for those. And then also like something that I like more than Ethereum because it doesn't have gas fees. It's very easy to move, quick to move. Ethereum Classic, which is maybe kind of lame, but I've gotten like pretty used to it. And like I have this drawing here. I have to go to the weekly that going back to the all-time highs is 435%. Not even from the current price. From current price, that's over 500%, really, from like 26, 27. So, yeah, this just to me seems like this is not something that I'm going to hold on for the rest of my life like I would with Bitcoin. But, this is a pretty nice swing. So I add, maybe I place an order, 2 orders for $5, limit orders, and they don't usually get filled. So maybe I add $5 to this every week. And same with Dogecoin, which similarly, big move to the upside from, if I look at it from the current price, right around there, that's over 700%, just getting to the all-time highs. But I think it'll go to $1. So, and both of these are, ones that I trim pretty heavily if it got back up there. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention those because it was kind of brought up during a stream. And so I'd say Bitcoin is like my main long-term investment. But yeah, since it is, this has gone on for an hour and 24 minutes. I might sign off unless there are any last minute requests. But I'm going to go over placing covered call orders in the morning, record that in the pre-market and release it before market opens. And then I'm going to do video on, Alibaba and CleanSpark tomorrow during market hours. I can actually pull up the calendar. And Nameless, if you're still here, I was, hoping to do a book review today, book club, But I just haven't been able to read that much because I'm either at work or I'm making videos. And after today, the channel will have crossed 3,000 watch hours, which is basically like the first step in monetization where I could do like I forget what they're called. Let's see here. Like memberships or supers, or have a shop. I don't know. I think that having a shop like t-shirts or something, I think that would not be, I feel like there's not enough of a subscriber base yet for that to be worth it. But if it's cheap to do or something, I might do that. But really once the channel hits 4,000 watch hours, that's when, you know, ads, I benefit from ads. And so at that point, that might be a time where it's like, okay, I've really pumped out all of this material. Oh, actually, Ed's in the way, so you can't even see what I was pointing at. Yeah, so I had book club here, but I removed that, and I'll try to do it in March, but I just haven't made progress with the book. And but yeah, once the channel gets like fully monetized, I'm gonna kind of take a step back and see, okay, what's the best way to keep the channel growing. Also, kind of think about different types of content to be producing. And so, one thing that I just started, which I recorded Tuesday morning before market opens, is just going over like my cover call strategy, which is like pretty passive, not really exciting. I could make more money with it, but it's also, passive. I don't have to worry about it too much. And so I'm just going to go over that tomorrow morning before market opens. And then I was also thinking, since I'm not working during the day, I go to work in the afternoon, I could, do like paper trading of options and just try to get better at like day trading options and see about doing that, because that's a really good way to make a lot of money, but it's also a good way to lose a lot of money. So I think that would be fun. So maybe I'd do that Tuesday. I have this highlighted for streaming, and then Wednesday's AMC earnings call. Thursday, I don't think I'm gonna do a stream then because I have a dentist appointment that morning. But on the 1st, which I can't highlight it, I'm going to do Plug Power's earnings call. And then March, I adjusted the color scheme a little bit for March, where, stream up here is yellow, so I make it yellow here. So every Sunday, and then just try to get them during the week. And so I'll do Friday the 1st. And then Plug Power, stream, and actually, since I'm going to stream that day, I don't know that I'll do a Plug Power video. But yeah. Will I have a co-host in other than Ed? I'm not sure. I think that there are ways for I don't know if there's I don't know. I'm the only person that I know that really does this stuff, that I know personally, like other than you guys. So yeah, it'll probably just be me. You think a co-host would be nice to spice it up so there's more conversation? Maybe I could, see if, I just don't have too many friends that are into stocks like this, or if they are, they're not as like disciplined with the charting and stuff. And so I don't know that it would necessarily add that much, but maybe it would be nice to like get a dynamic, and they could be learning on it. But yeah, I just don't know too many people who are into this stuff. But yeah, and so the next book review, I've been reading the book. It's I always want to say Larry Fink, but it's not. It's I forget. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting book, but I just haven't had time to read it, or the energy when I do, have time to read it. But yeah, I'll definitely have that reviewed by March, because the channel should be monetized then, and then I can kind of assess, a time allotment for it. But it's just like all of these videos that I've gone over, here. All of them, if they're repeated every week, which is a lot of them, it's because they get more than 100 views. And so I'm just trying to maximize that. But some of them have been disappointing. Like this, let's see, for Airbnb's earnings call, I think I did this Airbnb video and I did a follow-up, and that one, was kind of flat. So I'm not doing it again. So it's kind of disappointing. But yeah, I'll definitely do. I'll probably end up reading 6 books over the course of the year rather than 12. Um, so yeah, I'll have to do every other month book club, and yeah, so it should be good. But yeah, I think I'll be signing off. Maybe I'll switch back to the charts, put it back on Biora where this all started. And yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I hope that your weekends were great, that you had a nice time, with the stream, getting ready for the week ahead. And I will be streaming. Uh, let's see, I guess I got to go back to the calendar. I will be streaming again probably on Tuesday, and it'll probably just be during market hours and just, basically just going over charts on like the minute or 10-minute time scale and just basically paper trading options and see if I can make money doing that and try to get better with the managing of emotions around it going up, it going down, it respecting levels or not, knowing when to pull the plug if something goes against what I'm hoping. So yeah, that should be fun. It'll be interesting for me, like rather than doing ticker requests, just going over charts and then looking at the options tables. Um, but yeah, so that'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, AMC earnings call. I need to go to Walmart to get some popcorn and got to get some champagne or something. So that should be fun. I'm taking the day off work Wednesday to do that stuff. But yeah, it should be a good week. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for February to be over because I really tried to put out as much content as possible over the course of the month. I think it's paid off. I'm really happy with the growth of the channel and stuff. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out. I hope you have wonderful weeks and put out some videos next couple days, but I'll stream Tuesday during market hours. I assume most people are at work who joined for this one, but that's the time that I have to do it. So the next evening stream will be, I guess, Wednesday. I could do, so Wednesday, I don't know if you guys would be interested in this. So I'm doing the AMC earnings call, which is going to be in the afternoon. After that, I could do ticker request live at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I think that might be a good way to catch up on stuff like FSLY and whatnot, the other tickers over here. So yeah, I'll plan to do that. I'll do 2 streams on Wednesday, unless I have a ton of videos I need to do Wednesday. Not Tilray and Matterport right now, maybe ChargePoint. So that shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, I'll see you guys, if not Tuesday during stream, hopefully Wednesday evening, and if not, next Sunday. So thanks for hanging out. AMC still in business? Yeah, AMC's still in business, Ziggy. What's up? Yeah, and so we'll find out how good the business is going on Wednesday during the live stream for their earnings call. I'm really curious to see about the moves that they're making as far as I think they're going to I don't know if they're announced brewing their own beer, but I think wine, maybe beer. I think beer, yeah, actually they mentioned that. And then they started doing chocolate, popcorn, I feel like has been a great revenue booster. And there's some exciting movies coming out. I'm excited to see Dune Part 2. So hopefully that means that the forecast for AMC is good, and that with the holiday season, people going to movies around Christmas and stuff. Hopefully it's pretty good. Yeah, I think that their earnings will, I feel like in the past they've gone down following earnings. So hopefully this is the opposite. We continue to see some moves up. But yeah, I'll cover that Wednesday, and I will see you guys then if you want to join. If not, I'll see you in one of the other streams.